Before there was evil in the world, there was a name so beautiful it meant son of the morning. He was, by every account, the most magnificent being God had ever created. More powerful than any angel, more radiant than any star. He stood before the very throne of heaven. And then, he threw it all away. Today, we are going to go back to the very beginning, before the serpent in Eden, before the demons, before the darkness. We are going to tell the full story of Lucifer, the greatest fall in the history of creation. And I promise you this, by the end of this video, you will never look at the world the same way again. To understand the fall, you first have to understand the height. You have to understand just how magnificent Lucifer was before everything went wrong. And the Bible doesn't hold back. It gives us a portrait so vivid, so stunning, that theologians have been studying it for thousands of years. In the book of Ezekiel, God speaks directly about this being. He says, "You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering: sardius, topaz, diamond, beryl, onyx, jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald." Think about that for a moment. Every precious stone, every gem humanity has ever valued, gold, sapphire, ruby, they were literally part of him. He wore creation itself like a suit of armor. And it continues, "You were the anointed cherub who covers. I established you. You were on the holy mountain of God. You walked back and forth in the midst of fiery stones." The anointed cherub who covers. That is a position of supreme honor, the highest ranking angel standing at the very throne of God, a guardian, a protector. The name itself tells you everything. Lucifer, in Hebrew, Helel ben Shahar. It means the shining one, the son of the morning, or as most translations render it, the bringer of light. Isaiah 14:12 says, "How you have fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning." When God made the universe, he placed this being above all others. He was the worship leader of heaven. The Ezekiel passage describes pipes and tabrets, which are ancient musical instruments, built into his very body. He was made to create music, made to lead all of creation in praising God. Imagine that. Not just an angel, not just a warrior or a messenger. He was the conductor of the entire cosmic orchestra. And for a time, a long, glorious, unimaginable time, he fulfilled that role perfectly. But something was growing inside him. Something quiet, something dangerous, something that would change everything.
There is a passage in the Bible that many people have read dozens of times without fully grasping its weight. Isaiah chapter 14, verses 13 and 14. These are the words of Lucifer himself, and in them he says one word 5 times, "I will." Listen carefully. "I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High." 5 declarations, 5 acts of rebellion. 5 times he put himself at the center of the universe, a place that only belongs to God. This is what theologians call the sin of pride. And here's the thing that makes this so haunting. Lucifer already had everything. He wasn't poor, he wasn't oppressed, he wasn't being mistreated. He was the most powerful, most beautiful, most celebrated being in existence, second only to God himself. And it wasn't enough. There is a word in the ancient Greek that captures what happened inside Lucifer. Hubris, a pride so extreme it makes a creature believe they deserve what only belongs to God. Lucifer looked at his own beauty, his own power, his own glory, and decided it wasn't a gift. He decided it was his right. And the moment he made that decision, the moment that thought fully formed in him, the countdown to the greatest catastrophe in cosmic history had already begun. But here's the question nobody talks about enough. Was Lucifer alone? The book of Revelation, chapter 12, gives us one of the most staggering images in all of Scripture. It describes a great red dragon, a symbol for Satan, whose tail swept a third of the stars from the sky. Stars, in biblical language, are often symbolic for angels, a third of the stars. Think about that. There are currently estimated to be 100 billion stars in our galaxy alone. Multiply that by the number of galaxies. Now imagine a third of the angels of heaven, a number we cannot even conceive, choosing to follow Lucifer. This was not a quiet coup. This was a war. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Michael the archangel, the military commander of heaven's armies. He leads the loyal angels into battle against Lucifer and his followers. And here's what so many people miss. The Bible says Lucifer prevailed not, he lost. Despite being the most powerful angel ever created, despite commanding a third of heaven's forces, despite all his brilliance and all his power, he lost. Because when you go to war against God, there is only one possible outcome. Jesus himself describes this moment in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 10, verse 18. Speaking to his disciples, he says, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." Like lightning, not slowly, not gradually, instantly, violently, completely. The being who once stood at the throne of God, cast out so fast it looked like a bolt of electricity splitting the sky. And Lucifer, the son of the morning, the bringer of light, fell into darkness. But the story was far from over, because the place he landed was here.
If you've ever wondered why the serpent in the Garden of Eden went after Adam and Eve, you now have your answer. Lucifer had just been cast out of heaven. He had lost everything. But his ambition had not died. It had simply found a new target. God had created a new kind of being, humans, and placed them in a paradise. He loved them deeply. He walked with them in the cool of the day. He gave them authority over the entire earth. And Lucifer saw an opportunity. If he couldn't defeat God directly, maybe he could take what God loved most. Genesis chapter 3. The serpent approaches Eve. Notice his strategy. He doesn't attack. He doesn't threaten. He asks a question. Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? It seems like such a small thing, a harmless question, but look at what it's doing. It is planting doubt, subtly rewriting what God actually said, suggesting that maybe God's instructions can't be trusted. Eve corrects him. She explains what God actually said, and then Lucifer reveals his hand. You will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God. There it is again. You will be like God. The exact temptation he had fallen for himself, now used as a weapon against the ones God loved most. And it worked. Eve ate, Adam ate, and in that moment, the paradise God had built for his children cracked at its foundation. Death entered the world, sickness, shame, suffering. Lucifer had lost the war in heaven, but he had won a battle on earth. And yet, even in this darkest of moments, God spoke something extraordinary. Genesis 3:15, God looks at the serpent and says, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. In the middle of judgment, a promise, a prophecy, a seed of the woman would come, and this seed would crush the serpent's head. Even in the moment of his greatest victory, Lucifer's defeat was already being foretold. Here is where the story gets deeply uncomfortable. After the fall, after the garden, what exactly is Lucifer doing? Many people imagine him sitting on a throne in hell, torturing souls, but the Bible paints a very different picture. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. And the Lord said unto Satan, From where do you come? So Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro on the earth, and from walking back and forth on it. Let that sink in for a moment. Satan is at a heavenly meeting, presenting himself before God. He's not chained, not locked away. He is, in a horrifying sense, still operating, still moving through the world with some degree of authority. And this is consistent with other scriptures. In 2 Corinthians 4:4, he is called the God of this age, meaning he holds significant influence over the systems and values of this world. In Ephesians 2:2, he is called the Prince of the power of the air, a ruler of spiritual forces. In 1 Peter 5:8, it warns, "Your adversary the devil walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour." This is not a defeated prisoner. This is an active enemy. The book of Job also reveals another terrifying role, the accuser. The Hebrew word for Satan, ha-satan, literally means the accuser or the adversary. And in the heavenly courtroom scene in Job, that is exactly what he does. He stands before God and accuses Job, argues that Job only worships God because God protects him. Strip that away, Satan argues, and Job will curse God to his face. Revelation 12:10 confirms this role. He is the accuser of our brethren, who accused them before our God day and night. Day and night. This is not occasional. This is relentless. But here's the turn. Here's the part that gives the whole story hope. His days as the accuser have an expiration date. Revelation 12:10 continues, "Now have come the salvation and the strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren has been cast down." He is cast down. The battle isn't finished, but the verdict is already written.
The Bible does not leave us in suspense about how this story ends. Long before the final battle, the verdict was already declared. Matthew 25:41. Jesus speaks of the eternal fire prepared for the devil and his angels. The fire was not made for humans. It was prepared specifically for Lucifer and those who followed him. The devil who deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever. This is the end of Lucifer's story. The being who said, "I will be like the Most High," cast into a lake of fire forever. Every kingdom he tried to build, undone. Every soul he tried to steal, offered redemption. Every accusation he ever made, silenced. The morning star who refused to shine for anyone but himself, extinguished. And here is the most profound twist in the entire story. The title Lucifer once held, bringer of light, morning star, was not destroyed with him. It was given to someone else. Revelation 22:16. Jesus says, "I am the root and the offspring of David, and the bright morning star." The true morning star, the true light bringer, not one who hoards the light for himself, but one who gave everything, his very life, so that others could walk in it. The contrast is perfect, intentional, breathtaking. Lucifer said, "I will take the throne." Jesus said, "I will wash your feet." Lucifer said, "I will not kneel." Jesus knelt in a garden and sweat drops of blood because he loved the very beings that Lucifer tried to destroy. So what do we take from all of this? The story of Lucifer is not just ancient history, it's a mirror, because the same lie that destroyed him is still in circulation today. You deserve more. You should be in charge. You don't have to answer to anyone. You can be your own God. It is the oldest deception in existence, and it has never once led where it promises to go. Lucifer had more than any of us will ever have, and the pursuit of more destroyed him utterly. But here is the hope embedded in this entire story. The moment Lucifer fell, God didn't abandon his plan. He didn't start over. He didn't give up. He looked at the broken world and spoke a promise into it. The seed of the woman will crush the serpent's head. And for thousands of years, through floods and deserts and kingdoms rising and falling, that promise walked toward its fulfillment, until one night in Bethlehem, a child was born, and the morning star rose. This has been Lucifer, the fallen angel, Biblical Stories Explained. If this story moved you, hit like and subscribe. We cover the deep, the difficult, and the divine every single week. And drop a comment below. What part of Lucifer's story surprised you the most? I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.